Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Monday, June 21st, 2021 Board of Commissioners meeting. Thank you for everyone for being here. And first on the agenda is our invocation and our Pledge of Allegiance. And we have no one signed up. And I would ask anybody in the audience who would like to lead us in an invocation and Pledge of Allegiance. Okay, and if not, I would ask if Commissioner Owen Etheridge would be so honored tonight to help us with that.
Father, we come to you tonight and ask you to look over our Currituck County. Thank you for sparing us from the brunt of the storm that came through this morning. Thank you for the gentle rain that nourishes the ground and the crops that grow in it. Father, give us wisdom tonight as we make decisions that affect each and every citizen in Currituck County. May they be prudent and in the best interest of all involved. Father, go with us as we go home this evening. Keep us safe and bring us back together at our next meeting. All these blessings we ask in the name of your Son, Jesus Christ. Amen. Amen. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Commissioner Owen. The next item is the approval of the agenda. Do we have any changes to the agenda tonight?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to amend the agenda to remove our ABC board appointment for this evening.
Okay, thank you.
And no further changes other than that.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
Motion is second. Any other questions? All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. Next on the agenda is our public comment. Again, we just allow this time for the public to come before us, speak on anything that they would like to. We do give a 3-minute limit on the speaking. So it's your time as the citizens to come before us. And tonight I have one person signed up, which is Barbara Snowden. If I could just ask everyone to come up, state your name and your address just for the records.
My name is Barbara Blythe Snowden, and I live at 154 Courthouse Road. Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, I'm here tonight to share with you and to give you an invitation. On July 4th, which is a Sunday this year, the Historical Society will again be having a ceremony here at this courthouse. At 2 o'clock, we will have our kids' parade. It is open to any person that is still in school, starting, we've had them as young as 3 months being carried in a wagon, up to 18. Each person who takes part will receive a brand new $2 bill, and I hope that you know, and that's my phone, I hope you know that the $2 bill has the Declaration of Independence painted on the back of it from the painting, and then at that time we'll have a reading of the Declaration of Independence. It is a very family-friendly event. We like to have people here, and we like to think that we're continuing the heritage. And even though I'm limited to 3 minutes, I have to get my historical point in.
Get your point.
I hope that everyone who is listening and everyone who is sitting here know the significance of celebrating the Declaration of Independence. And I hope every single one of you know the event that Currituck has claim to that very few other places do. When the Declaration of Independence was printed and was sent out to all of the counties in the area, Currituck had a formal meeting. The people who were living in the county gathered around what was then a 26-foot pole and raised a flag. Now, I have no idea which one of the many, many flags that they were using during the American Revolution that they raised, but if you have not seen the Liberty Pole, what is left of the Liberty Pole is on display at the Museum of the Albemarle. And there are very, very few places in the United States who can say, yes, we're recreating the reading of the Declaration, and we've been doing this in our county since it was actually declared. So 2 o'clock in front of the courthouse. If it's real hot, we'll provide you with water. If you know young people who would like to ride a bike in a parade, the parade, we give 3 cash prizes for the best decorated bikes. So we invite anybody who would like to come and join us. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Snowden. What's that? I have no one else signed up. Is there anyone in the audience who wishes to speak that did not sign up? Okay. Hearing none, I'll go ahead and close public comment, but I would like to say, though, those, if you haven't been to one of those events up here at the courthouse, please try to make a point to come to that event. It's special to seeing the kids participate and hearing the reading of the Declaration again. All right, next on the agenda is our commissioner reports, and I'm going to start off to my right today with Commissioner Owen Etheridge.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As a lot of people know, we passed a budget 2 weeks ago. Wasn't exactly what I would like to have seen, because I feel like that counties across North Carolina was put in a very untenable position. And I'd like to motion that we send a resolution or a letter to the governor, lieutenant governor, and our House members, and to other counties, the other counties in North Carolina, because even though there's no federal provision in the Constitution for education, North Carolina's Constitution does spell out in Article 9. And the first paragraph of our Article 9 is religion, morality, and knowledge being necessary to good government. And I have a problem with the fact is it moral for the state of North Carolina, the General Assembly, to shirk their obligations under the state constitution and force down unfunded mandates on counties. That unfunded mandate, based on what I can find out, has forced every county in the state of North Carolina to raise revenue. And is it moral for the state to be talking about lowering taxes and pushing it down on the counties? Because lowering of the income tax doesn't affect every citizen, because there's a certain threshold for income that the state is excluding, and they're talking about raising that threshold. Whereas the property taxes that the counties, the only avenue the counties have to run the operation of their schools, is by and large does affect a lot of people, far more than what the income tax would do. And I just think we need to be concerned about this. This is not the first time I've seen this happen. Back in the recession of 1990, they quit funding the utility costs for schools, with the proviso that when the economy got better, the state would take over the utility cost again. And we're still waiting for that to happen. They're going to be sitting on $10 billion of surplus, and they're finding places to spend. I'd like to see them help the counties by fulfilling their constitutional and statutory obligations and fund the teachers that they are requiring the counties to hire to take care of the K-3 classroom reduction size, plus the capital cost of finding space for those kids. And like I said, I'd like to put this in forward that the county attorney draft a resolution and talk about Article 9 of the Constitution and General Statute 115C1, which spells out some of the state's obligations for education. And let's get back to what the state constitution and general statute says is the responsibility of the counties.
Okay, is that all your comments? Okay, so Commissioner Owen is asking this board if we would support a resolution drafted and sent up to the state. I guess at this time, I'll go ahead and just poll the board.
I'll second his.
Okay, and then I'll just to move, see if we want to move forward with this resolution. I guess all in favor of supporting that resolution be drafted, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, all opposed? Okay, then let's go ahead and get that resolution drafted. Thank you, Commissioner Owen. Next is Commissioner McCord.
I'd like to ditto on what Commissioner Etheridge said. You know, we adopted a budget. That's a lot of time and process that goes into going through all this stuff. And you keep hearing the revenue neutral and all that kind of stuff. You know, everything goes up. A gallon of milk at Dollar General is like $4 right now. Everything goes up. Our tax rate for the services that we have and the crime that we have, we're very lucky here. I'm very fortunate. Been very fortunate, you know, for the services and everything that we have. I too, the state mandates that the governor, which I mean, personally, I think he has too much power, and that's just my own opinion, but I'll say that. You know, where they drop those state mandates, and there's some counties that really took a beat and are going to have to build, you know, more than one school, millions of dollars. So, if you're watching, Roy, thanks. But that's it on that subject. The highways are busy. The beach is packed. Ms. Snowden just in public comment discussed about the July 4th thing. That's a great event. I've been to it multiple times as a commissioner, as a deputy, as a citizen. It's a nice event. There's a bunch of little kids out here in their cool bikes. And they give them, I mean, they're decked out in red, white, and blue. It's a pretty awesome event. So like I said, if you can attend that, please do attend it. Be careful on the roads. Like I said, I know I stated this before. We've had a bunch of house fires. Thank you to our.
Thank you, Commissioner Cord. And next, Vice Chairman, Commissioner Beaumont.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The first thing I want to say is a shout out to our ocean rescue who had I want to say last weekend pulled 2 from the ocean. One was unconscious, and they survived. So due to the quick response, they were able to get them to the hospital in time. So to those that are out going to the beach, use wisdom, because if it's really rough out, that's probably not a great time to be going swimming in the ocean or trying to paddle out. The second thing is, and this is for the county manager, we have a sign on at least the Barco Library that says curbside service is available. There's nothing on the marquee that says the library's open. And I think we can do a better job messaging libraries open, come on in, curbside services available, right? Something to those lines. But if we could please, because the impression is that's all that's available, whether anyway, just clear up any confusion. That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner Beaumont. I'll just give a quick little update with as far as COVID. I mean, I believe the last report I saw, Currituck's at 0 active cases, and our entire Albemarle Regional, 8 counties, I think there was a total of 12 active cases right now, which is very, very good news. So it's taking care of itself slowly but surely. And again, just reiterate, be careful on the roads. We're getting a busy season. And like I said, the 4th of July, like everybody was saying, that's a good event up here. If you can attend it, that would be something to witness. That's all I had for today. I'll turn it over to Commissioner White.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I don't have much. I'll be brief this evening. Tomorrow afternoon, myself, the county manager, and some of the engineering staff will be headed to Corova to talk about the roads district up there. And so if you're in Corova and watching this, we'll be up at the fire station tomorrow to talk about the roads in the service district that we have there, and probably answer some other questions as well. That's it for me this evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner White. And Commissioner Etheridge.
Thank you. Over the past 10 months, the North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services conducted a Medicaid unit audit for the Department of Social Service here in Currituck County. The audit consisted of reviewing 200 random selected Medicaid eligibility to see how it was being conducted here in the county. The audit revealed the following. For the state standards, eligible applicants are approved for Medicare accuracy was 97%. For the state standard, eligibility applicants are denied or terminated. Our rating was 95%, and the state standard, the eligibility determination process is free of any technical errors, was 97.5%. So a big shout out to all the workers at the Social Service Department and to Samantha Hurd for the job that they do. Also last Saturday, I think Commissioner Etheridge, Payment, Jarvis, and myself attended the Juneteenth celebration, and that was a very nice celebration that was put on by the Tourism Department along with, I guess, the Historical Society. And they will have a trail that covers 7 counties? Six. So we were really privileged. It was a very nice celebration they had. And now on a little personal note, I'd like to thank all the people who reached out to me after I fell right before the last meeting. As you can see, I'm a little bruised up, but I do appreciate the people who reached out. I'm sorry I wasn't here to vote on the budget. I know there's been a couple of things mentioned about the budget, and I had told everybody who had reached out to me that I did not support the tax rate, and I think my fellow commissioners are aware of that also. And I also want to thank EMS that came out, the rescue squad. Folks, we are really, really blessed in this county. I could not have asked for any better treatment than what was given to me the other Monday night, and we just don't realize what we have till we have to use it. But when you see these deputy sheriffs, the people who work the rescue squad, please thank them. And I hate to say it, but all of us need to be thanked too, because this is a thankless job, folks. And you get beat up pretty bad if you don't go along. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Etheridge. And just one thing, let me just let everyone know that Commissioner Jarvis was not here tonight. She's taking some well-deserved family time off, and she would not be here tonight, so I just want to let everybody know that. Next is our county manager's report.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Got a couple of things, just updates on our capital projects that are going on. Maritime Museum's coming along nicely. We've got a ribbon cutting scheduled, I believe, for July 15th out at the Maritime Museum. I'm excited. I haven't been in it in a while and trying to hold off until the ribbon cutting, but when I went in probably 3 weeks ago, it was really taking shape, and it's going to be a really special facility. Public safety is going well. Flooring's installed. Painting is occurring up on the top floor. Some of the furniture is being moved in, so we're shooting for a substantial completion date of July 15th for that. So I'm sure that sometime probably around the 1st of August we'll be having some kind of ribbon cutting there. It'll obviously be open in time for COA to hold fall classes in the facility. And Shingle Landing Park is coming along nicely. We hope to have that site turned over to us in the next couple of weeks. Once that happens, we'll be having some kind of ribbon cutting out there. There will probably still be some landscaping work that will have to occur in the fall. Some of the landscaping that they put in the spring, because of the weird weather we had where it was dry and then wet and then dry and cold, it didn't take quite the way it should, but the contractor will come back and finish that up. The only other thing that I had is a question came up about a piece of legislation. It's Senate Bill 654, and it has a lot of educational components in it. One of the things in that legislation is that it takes the kindergarten classroom size and potentially could delay that for a year depending on how much your school system grows. To give you an idea, the ratio that you're supposed to have next school year is 18 kindergartners per teacher, and on average, and then individually, a individual class can go up to 21 students as long as the average stays at 18. So in Currituck County, for instance, Knott's Island helps with that because that number in kindergarten is typically below 18. If this bill passes, and there is a whole lot in it, but this component is in there, if it passes, it would mean that for kindergarten only for 1 year, the ratio could be 20 students per teacher average, and you could go up to 23. So this is for 1 year only, and you only qualify for that if your local, if in your school system, there is a 5% or greater increase in kindergarten size in August upcoming compared to August 2019. Now, that's really confusing to talk through, but what it's trying to account for, and I think that this, I've heard this from the school system, there were a lot of kindergartners who did not register last year because the parents said, I'll just wait a year and wait for school to get back to usual. So I think statewide there's an anticipation that the kindergarten classes could be larger than anticipated, and this takes that into account. So that way, if you do come in larger, it gives you some buffer to kind of matriculate those students through. So just an update on that bill, and I'll be happy to answer any questions if any board members have them.
I just have one. Sorry, go ahead, Ms. Katie.
So that's just for 1 year, right?
The way that I read it, it's just for 1 year. And it says for the remainder of the school year in this. So it would probably revert back to the problem that I have with the logic there is, well, if they're in kindergarten this year, they'll be in first grade the next year and second grade. But it could give some relief for 1 year. Right now that bill is in conference between the House and the Senate. And so we'll see if it actually gets through and that section stays in. But it is a large bill with a whole lot of stuff in it. A lot of it to do with virtual education. But
when you were talking about the boat museum, ABC store, where are we at on the demo on that?
The contract's been executed. Notice to proceed's been given. I think it's I want to say 45 to 60 day time frame for the total demolition of the wooden structure.
Okay.
Obviously, we're going to leave the concrete and any rough plumbing or electrical that's out there, but so it should come down in the next 45, 60 days. Could come down quicker than that. That's the contract time, but
Okay.
and I believe it's Done Construction is the contractor that got that job.
All right, just drove by it yesterday and thought about it with the tar paper flapping in the wind. So this is looking pretty bad.
It's just a banner.
Right. Well, if I had a couple Currituck flags, it'd be all right, But it's Currituck. All right, thank you, Mr. Manager.
I do have one, the bill you discussed. What's the number? Like, I know what you said, the average is 23 with the highest going, or the average is 20 going with the highest is 23. What was it? Wasn't it 18 and 21?
18 and 21
Okay. I just wanted
is the way that it would currently be if that bill didn't pass.
Any other questions for the county manager? If none, thank you, Ms. Stockleather. Next, we have the county attorney's report.
Mr. Chairman, at the last meeting, I reported to you that the county was involved in 8 different pieces of litigation as a party in various courts. So I just want to quickly run through the status of those cases, which are now 7, in that the plaintiff in the matter Allied Properties versus Denise Hall, in her official capacity as Registrar of Deeds, and in her individual capacity, the official capacity claim against her as Registrar of Deeds has been dismissed since your last meeting by the plaintiff, so that effectively takes the county out of that particular piece of litigation. The others are RF London Mermaids Headlights, which has been a long-standing case. The most recent court activity occurred in February of last year when we had their appeal dismissed by the Court of Appeals because it was premature. They've done nothing since, and so at the recent administrative session, I asked the Superior Court to put that on for the July 19th session of Currituck Superior Court for them to show cause why the matter should not be dismissed for their failure to prosecute and proceed on with their case. The Latendra versus Currituck County matter, which of course is the large 24-bedroom house on the North Beach, that matter is pending before the North Carolina Court of Appeals. That is Ms. Latendra's appeal of the 2 Superior Court judges ordering her to comply with 2 North Carolina Court of Appeals decisions that the house does not comply with the Currituck County UDO, and it must either be removed or taken down in order to comply. She also has had removed the county's complaint against her seeking court enforcement of the Court of Appeals decisions to federal court, and so we've got 2 tracks, a piece of it in the North Carolina Court of Appeals and a piece of it in the federal court, and the matter continues forward. The Schneerla versus Currituck County case, that's the matter where the Virginia resident is challenging the county's beach parking permit ordinance and provision that county property owners and non-resident property owners are not required to pay for a beach parking permit. That matter, now briefs have been submitted to the Superior Court, and we're just waiting for the Superior Court to render a decision as to whether the county ordinance is lawful. The CCA versus Currituck County, that is a challenge of the county expenditure and use of occupancy tax monies. The plaintiffs in that case are seeking $40 million to be returned from the county general fund to the occupancy tax fund. Of course, it has been my opinion all along that the county commissioners have appropriately utilized occupancy tax money, always have, and will continue to do so. That matter is currently in discovery, although I would not be surprised if there are not some motions in this next 6-month session of Superior Court, hopefully maybe to deal with that case once and for all. 85 and Sunny LLC versus the county, that is the company that owns the KOA campground on Churches Island. That matter is before the Court of Appeals. June 8th was the date that the Court of Appeals scheduled to take consideration of the county's appeal. Actually, it's cross appeals. We've appealed the number of campsites allowed by the Superior Court. They've appealed the Superior Court's denial of a swimming pool that they want. So it could be in the next 90 days or so that we may get an opinion from the Court of Appeals on that matter. The county, the only one that we are currently a plaintiff in essence, except for the Latiner case, is against Kevin Poole. We've got a code enforcement matter in which the county is seeking $87,500 in civil penalties and compliance with the County Unified Development Ordinance prohibiting commercial operation of a business on the North Beach. And also, he's got an issue where a portion of his building is located across the property line on the adjacent property owner's lot.
Mr. Attorney, if I can, what was the dollar number you said for the
It's
violation?
about $87,500 in civil penalties.
Thank you.
That matter, his attorney has indicated they were working on a proposal of a settlement that I, of course, would bring back to this board for consideration. But in any event, I've asked for that matter to be placed on the September 13 session of Currituck County Superior Court to kind of push that matter along to some form of resolution, whether it results in a settlement or not. At least we want to have it disposed of by that September 13th. And then finally, the Cicino versus Currituck County, that is the appeal of the complete auto credit business up toward Moyock. The board denied the use permit for that operation. The record was filed in that matter with Superior Court on June 7th. Right now it's scheduled for the November 29 session of Superior Court. And so that's the status of our pending litigation at this point.
That's all?
That's all.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Mr. McCree, for that update. Next, we have new business. And first item under new business is consideration of a cooperative agreement between the North Carolina Wildlife Resource Commission and Currituck County regarding the Outer Banks Center for Wildlife Education. I believe the county manager has this one.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As you all are aware, we've been in conversations with WRC for quite some time. They are looking to move away from the Wildlife Education Center here in Corolla. They approached us about taking that over, and so this is an agreement that would smooth that transition over 2 years. We would go ahead and financially take care of the building and any staff that needs to be hired to work there or that's currently hired. What it does is it gives the employees there that are currently state employees time to transition either to county employment or to other jobs if they so choose. If they leave employment by the state of North Carolina during the 2 years, we would then have to go out and hire our own employees to take that space. So while it's a 2-year agreement, if people do leave, it could, in fact, speed that transition up. One of the other things that's laid out in here is that they will either transfer or loan any exhibits that are state-owned to the county. We'll have a formal agreement with that later after they're all cataloged and figured out, can they transfer them or can they only loan them? Some of the things that they have, they might have a agreement that they have to stay under state ownership. But our intention, as we've discussed, is basically to continue the programming that's offered there, continue the mission of using that facility to educate visitors to the wildlife in our area. Obviously, it's very exciting for Currituck County to have that final building in the historic Corolla Park, but I'd be happy to answer any questions that you all may have.
Have any good questions regarding the agreement? If not, I'll ask the board for a motion on this agreement.
Mr. Chairman, I'll move to approve the agreement.
I second it.
A motion and a second from Commissioner Beaumont. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Thank you, sir. Agreement passes.
Let's make it clear to the citizens that the county will own the building.
Yes.
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 At the end of the 2 years, the county will own the building, essentially for
Yes.
free.
Yep.
So we will not be paying anything for that capital asset.
Right.
Yes,
It's a great deal for us. It really is. And myself and the chairman went over with the county manager, talked to them. It's going to be just like you said. It's going to finish off that property for us and the programming that's there. And
Yeah, it's going to continue on with the educational programming. When you go there, there's going to be a lot to do.
Oh yeah, you can spend a whole day there.
Especially on a day like today, a good rainy day.
Yeah.
It's funny for somebody to attend.
The other good thing about it is there is a small auditorium in there that will lend itself to community meetings for
Absolutely.
the citizens of Corolla.
Yeah, that's a win-win-win.
Yes, it is. All right, the next item is item B, under new business, resolution authorizing the upset bid process for the sale of county-owned property located on Uncle Graham Road, parcel ID number 00950000002600. I believe our county attorney has that.
Mr. Chairman, the county has received an unsolicited offer for the acquisition of county-owned lot on Uncle Graham Road. The lot is approximately 1 acre in size. The unsolicited offer to purchase is $30,000. If you approve the resolution before you, it will direct the clerk to the Board of Commissioners to initiate the upset bid process by publishing notification in the newspaper of the receipt of this offer and the ability for anyone who desires to upset the bid to do so within 10 days. The resolution further provides that should there be no upset bid, that this particular offer from Joanne Armstrong will be accepted by the county, although there's the usual provisions that the Board of Commissioners may reject any and all bids at any time. Like a staff recommends approval. This lot has not been, I don't think it's ever been used by the county, although we believe it was purchased at some time ago or acquired by the county for a convenience center, which of course never came to fruition on that site.
Any questions for the county attorney? Hearing none, I'm going to go ahead and make a motion that we approve this resolution for the upset bid process. Okay, you have a question?
I was just going to ask, is there a picture of the park? I know.
There is one in there.
There is
map.
at
It's about halfway down.
page 12 of your agenda package, there is a GIS
I see it now.
photo of the site.
But 90% of it's still wooded, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Would you want some trees off of there?
No, I don't.
It's actually
I
collecting,
think they're all pine trees
collecting poison ivy.
Right.
as we speak.
All right, well, I made a motion
I'll
to
second it.
approve. We have a second, Commissioner White. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. The next item is board appointments. I will just state that I believe all these board appointments are reappointments that are listed here, and if we have no objection from any of the board members, I'd like to make a motion that we just approve the recommended reappointments of the current advisory board members to be reappointed.
You doing the full slate?
Do the full slate of all that's been
ABC's
recommended.
stayed.
ABC's been taken off.
Off,
Yeah, but
right.
yeah, we took that off, amended it.
So it would be Fire, Ocean Sands, Wellhead, and
And
Senior
senior
Center.
centers, yes.
I'll second it.
Okay, motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you. The next item is the consent agenda.
Move for approval.
A motion for approval.
Second.
I have a second. Any further discussion on the consent agenda? If not, hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Consent agenda passes. Thank you. And with that, I'm going to, I guess, recess the board.
No, you may
Just go
continue,
right
just
into- okay,
continue
then-
on
okay.
into the
All right, well, let me
discussion
ask
on
this,
campground tax.
do the board members want to take a break before we go into the work session on the campgrounds? Like a 5-minute break? Okay, the board be on 5-minute break real quick before we go into our work session.